Welcome back to this week's episode of the Fuel Your Freedom podcast. Today, we are on episode number 13, which is so crazy. I hit the double digits and I don't even think I realized it. I don't even think I said anything. And now we're on 13, which is cool. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. And if you've been here since the beginning, I very much appreciate it. If you're just tuning in now because you've gone back to the beginning and re-listened to or back listened to, I don't know, whatever the word is. If you've caught up to this point of the show, I very much appreciate that as well. It really means a lot because I know when I do that with shows, it's because I absolutely love them. So again, thank you guys so much for being here. This is super fun. And I love hopping on every week and just chatting with you. So if you want to catch up with me on more of a daily basis, you can head over to my Instagram at Coach Emily Meyer. I post much more frequently throughout the week on there. But as always, you'll still keep up with me on these weekly episodes as well. So today we have a little bit shorter of an episode. We are talking about discomfort. So I want to kick this one off with a quote from Brené Brown, who I absolutely love. And she said, lean into the discomfort of the work. And today we are diving into the work. We are diving into the discomfort. What it means when we feel discomfort, what we can do about it, and ways to embrace that uncomfortability that we might feel. Because life, and by extension health and fitness, isn't always comfortable, right? There are always moments of discomfort. There are tough moments, but what we do in these moments can make all the difference. So before we dive in, I do want to make two disclaimers. We're going to be talking in terms of health and fitness today. While there are many times in life where there's going to be discomfort, some of the things in this article / episode, whether you're listening to this, obviously you are if you're hearing me talk, but I do post these as blog posts on my blog post. So if you're reading it or reading it after the fact, these might not apply, right? So again, I want to be very clear. We are talking in terms of health and fitness, not necessarily this discomfort of life. While some of these might apply in life, there are obviously so many uncomfortable and uncomfortable situations that we may find ourselves in where some of this information might not be as applicable. So think in terms of health and fitness. Second, I want to make a distinction between discomfort and pain, right? So you might already recognize just between me saying those words, but it will be different for every person. Here in this episode, we are talking about discomfort specifically, right? Pain, I always say, is a full stop. If we feel pain and keep pushing, it's especially, again, we're looking at this in health and fitness, it's basically a fast track towards potential injury, right? It's not a good thing. Pain is our body's way of telling us to stop immediately, to reassess, to reevaluate what we are doing. But discomfort is a whole other beast, and that's kind of what we're talking about today. So let's just dive right in. No one wants to be uncomfortable. No one enjoys it. No one likes it. Even at a biological level, our bodies crave that normalcy, right? So in the literature and the science, we can refer to this as homeostasis. A definition there, just for those of you that haven't referenced since biology class in high school or college or whenever we took it last, but homeostasis is, quote, the tendency towards a relatively stable equilibrium between interdependent elements, especially as maintained as a physiological processes. So again, it's all the different parts of our body, the systems of the body, working together to maintain that level of equilibrium or normalcy, right? And the body wants to be in this stable position for as much of the day as it can. To use training as an example, when we train and elevate the heart rate, we feel that discomfort trying to bring us to slow down, right? To rest, to stop. And when we do, the heart rate will drop. We may also start sweating during periods of high intensity work. This is the body's way of cooling our internal temperature and bringing, again, that body temp back down to normal. But this extends beyond workouts, right? You know that I believe, and I've talked about this before, that all the hard things we do in the gym prepare us for the hard things we have to tackle in our lives. Again, this is not a one-to-one, but I truly do think that when we work hard in the gym, we can work harder in our lives, or we can show ourselves that we are able to do hard things in life when we can do hard things in the gym. And the same goes for discomfort, right? But discomfort isn't only in these physiological responses of lowering the heart rate, of, the lowering the breathing rate, lowering the body temperature, etc. Lifting a heavier weight is uncomfortable. Running a longer distance is uncomfortable, right? But to relate it back, so is moving cords of wood, working in the garden, enjoying a walk or a hike with your family. So again, when we do the hard things in the gym, we're better prepared to endure and tackle the challenges outside of the gym, right? So when we push through that discomfort in the gym, we prove to ourselves that we can do uncomfortable things. We can do more often than we even think we can in our lives. But it can also be mentally challenging in addition to physically challenging, right? It's tough to keep pushing through when your body is telling you to slow down, to stop, or to change what you're doing. But again, the proof is quite literally in the pudding. When you prove to yourself you're capable, you and your body, your brain, remembers that in the future. It remembers that time you kept going when your mind wanted to stop, how it felt at the end when you didn't stop, when you did push through, when you did keep moving forward. You know you can do it during that second time because you did it already before, right? For example, personal example here, when I first started running in high school, this came up a lot, right? It wasn't my lungs or my legs or my body that wanted to give up first. It was my mind. My mind was telling me all the things to try and get me to stop, right? You're weak. Why are you running? You have no business doing this, etc., etc. Sometimes I did. Sometimes I finished my run as a walk, but other times I didn't. I didn't listen. I instead pushed through the voice telling me to slow down, to quote unquote, just walk this one time. And over time, that voice faded. No longer did I hear it consistently because I drowned it out. I'd proved to myself that I was capable, that I didn't need to stop despite what it wanted to tell me, that despite the discomfort, I could keep moving forward, right? But this isn't just about running. This is about everything in health and fitness. When we feel that discomfort, change is usually just on the other side if only we keep moving toward it. Right? This change can be adaptation, heavier weights, longer distance, etc. No health and fitness pursuit often comes without discomfort, right? Pushing our boundaries of our body is quite literally how the body adapts, right? And that's what we're doing in health and fitness. We're lifting heavier weights, we're running longer distances, whatever our goal may be. And just as the body wants to stay in homeostasis, it also wants to conserve energy. It's not going to put calories or energy towards building muscle if it doesn't need to, right? It's just not going to do it. It's going to save them for other things, right? Like living our lives, the things that it needs to do. So for example, if we're always lifting a 20-pound weight without manipulating other variables, right? That's an important caveat. So we're not doing increased time, tempo, volume, etc. The body will adapt to that weight. It'll get used to lifting 20 pounds, right? To continue to get stronger, we have to change and increase the difficulty of our training. Now, this can be through grabbing the 25-pound dumbbell, or it can be spending more time, adding a pause, a tempo, slowing things down, increasing a set, adding some reps, right? There's all different things that you can change to increase the difficulty of the training. It's not necessarily what we're talking about today, but there's so many examples. This change is uncomfortable, right? Doing more is uncomfortable. We're pushing the limits of our body. But as with everything, we can feel that discomfort and keep moving forward, right? Where pain brings us to that full stop, as it should. Remember, pain, full stop, reevaluate. We can push through discomfort. In the moments that we don't, we may leave that progress on the table. And again, I want to caveat again, sometimes that's okay. Sometimes we need to just find comfort. We need to move through things that we know we can do, right? I would argue that this is a deload week. We need to give our bodies a break. We need to give our minds a break, ourselves a break, all of the things. We need to find that self-compassion to step back sometimes. But other times we need to push through the discomfort, right? We have to be uncomfortable a little bit. And a lot of times that's challenging. We don't want to be uncomfortable, but when we push through, we find out what change is on the other side of that discomfort, right? We find out what we are capable of. We push forward, right? And over time, we toe that line. There are times, like I said, to pull back. We rest. We allow our body to take a break from the discomfort. If we're constantly uncomfortable, it can lead to pain, right? It can lead to that full stop. It can lead to that breakdown, to our body telling us, hey, you absolutely have to rest. But don't be afraid to toe the line, to push forward a little bit, to pull back, right? Don't be afraid to see what we're capable of on the other side of that discomfort, because you might just surprise yourself. You might just see what you are capable of on the other side of that uncomfortable situation, of that heavier weight, of that longer run, right? You're going to meet a person you never knew existed potentially, right? Because at the end of the day, regardless of who you are capable of difficult things inside of the gym, outside of the gym, in health and fitness, and in life. You're capable of feeling uncomfortable and to keep moving forward in spite of that discomfort. This brings me to my empowered action for this week. Next time you feel discomfort, lean into it. Push the boundaries a little bit. Run for 2 minutes longer. Heck, even 1 minute, even 30 seconds. Put 5 more pounds in the bar or grab the heavier pair of dumbbells. It'll be okay if you feel that uncomfortable temporarily, because you'll learn who that person is. At the same time, if you feel like you've been pushing through discomfort for weeks and weeks and months on end, it might be time to pull back. It might be time to give yourself a break. Reevaluate, see where you are. Which camp do you fall into, right? If you need a little uncomfortability in your life, push forward. Get a little uncomfortable. Find out who that person is. Feel the change on the other side. Because like I said, you'll learn who you are on the other side. You'll learn what you are capable of on the other side of that discomfort. So that's all I have for you guys this week. It's a little bit shorter of an episode, but I hope you enjoyed it. As always, leave a rating and review if you are listening on Apple Podcasts. And if you're not, if you wanted to share this with someone who you think would enjoy it, I would very much appreciate it. So thank you again, guys, so much for tuning in, and I will catch up with you next week. Talk to you soon. Bye.